Hi. I'm on the verge of understanding something, and I can't wait to have the relief that comes with the answer. Yeah.
We know. That's the way y'all want it to be. Give me the answer, and then I'll believe. And we say, you got to believe, and then you'll get the answer.
I've always had this inkling that maybe there's only one of us here. I really mean it. Really one of us. And there's this illusion, this veil of separation that allows these magnificent interactions between everyone. And it's amazing, and I love it. Because when I am in the vortex, I have the benefit of both perspectives. My perspective, but the perspective of Source, I guess. So when I am observing something beautiful, let's say an ant on the sidewalk, I don't really know if who's observing who, if you see what I mean.
We do.
And, okay, so...
And we think those words, the words that you've offered here are perfect, and we're just going to interrupt briefly just to embellish what you perfectly said already. So when someone says, I think we're all just one, and then you look around and you see all these individual clumps on chairs. So here's all this clumps, physical perspectives, mining contrast for further expansion.
Yes.
And every piece of desire, every piece of expansion being received by the one that you're wanting to talk about, the source, the whole. So every exposure that you all, even the ant, are offering, Source is receiving and becoming and maintaining and holding and beaming to all that exists, so that when the ant has an experience and requests, Source receives it and beams it back, and it's available to the ant and the human and the dog. Of course, these are bulky analogies, but yeah. So everyone who's exposed to contrast and everyone who's contributing to the expansion is now the potential receiver of the whole's beaming signal of that improvement.
Yes.
And to the degree that the individual out here really on the leading edge receives that, then to the degree they feel the wholeness of all of that. So when, as you said wisely and perfectly, when you're in your vortex, when you're tuned into that, you have access to all of the knowledge of everything that exists. That's why
Yes.
you can zig and zag in traffic. That's why you could be a physician doing surgery and understand the cellular structure of the anatomy in ways that nobody has ever been able to chart it.
Is it why when people talk about their past life, you say, we don't know if you're getting your past life or someone else's, but is it both? I mean, as source energy, I have equal access to this clump of clay here called Marco, but I have equal access to everything else.
You have access to everything that you request.
Yes.
But because focus is at the center of your point of attraction, you can only access what you are able to activate through your exposure to life, which poses the request, which causes the question.
Okay.
That's why as life causes you to ask, all of that knowledge that you have so well defined and that we have just talked about further, all of that knowledge is available to you. And to the degree that you are vibrationally ready to receive it, you do.
Okay. You talked with the we. Is it because like there's not 65 of you? Is it because it's a mix between you and I that you use it, or are you really individuals there? Because my question is,
well,
are we still individuals when we are not physically focused? That's my question.
Well, your first statement to us and question to us really sets this question up perfectly for you to receive the answer that you are looking for. We'll wait for the music to stop here. Lovely, wasn't it? We were just stalling for the answer to come. What was the question again? When life experience causes you to ask something, Source, who holds the knowing, is always there. The question isn't, is the answer there? The question is, are you in the vibrational vicinity of being able to receive the answer?
Yeah, I know.
So
I know from outside the vortex your answer is probably very disturbing, but from inside the vortex it's going to be very because what I fear in this is when I'm not in the vortex, merging back with everything or becoming just the one feels like dissolution. But when I am in the vortex, it feels like expansion.
Yes,
but I really want to know...
Well, you said it better than we could.
Okay.
In other words, that's the perfect explanation of that. Esther has that sense because when she allows us to flow through her, she doesn't feel the absence of Esther. She doesn't feel the dissolution of that which she is.
Yeah.
She feels the adding to...
But what about the croaking experience? That's what I'm interested in. When I croak... I'm not ready to croak, so maybe that's why the answer is not going to please me. And when I'm ready to croak, it's going to be super cool.
Well, here,
I don't know.
it will be super cool.
Yeah.
We highly recommend it.
Yes.
But the most important thing to understand about all of this is that and you said it so well, the important part of this is alignment with who I am. And so as you are moving around in this physical environment and are deliberately modifying your perspective in order to allow your alignment, in order to achieve the continual manifestation of feeling good, by feeling, you see, you can't line up with who you are and therefore feel good without these things happening. When you feel good, you are in alignment with all of your clarity and all of your power and all of your knowledge.
Yes.
So as you practice it here in this physical experience and you feel the fullness of who you are flowing through you, let's use a different word, the oneness, your word, the oneness of all of that,
yes,
you'll get so comfortable with feeling the wholeness, the oneness, the fullness of who you are, that when you do reach that place where you're making your transition, it will just feel completely normal to you.
Okay.
In other words, let's chew on this just a little bit, because humans often have the feeling, and it's completely incorrect, but they've come to conclusions that they are here proving some sort of worthiness, and that they are fragmented parts of something that is greater, and that when they have their death experience, that they will return to their maker, and they will return feeling pretty much as they feel now in this physical body, and that then they will have a relationship with Source pretty much like they have it here in their physical body. And we say, when you reemerge into that which is Source, you will feel that Source perspective.
Yes.
Your words again were perfect. The fear that you feel, or the discomfort that you feel, is in the moment just an indication of the separation that you've got going on in your not yet accepting that oneness that the whole premise of this conversation began with.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm on the verge of feeling good about it, but it's because as you say it, my inner being is unique to me here, but is that still true when I'm not physically focused? Am I still a wave on the ocean, or do I become like the ocean?
Well, you're really going to like this. This is really what you want to hear. This is why it feels fearful to you to think about reemerging into this non-physical energy. Here, you are utilizing, as we said this morning, your physical senses to interpret this time-space reality. Interpreting through your eyes. It's a vibrational interpretation that makes you see. It's a vibrational interpretation that causes you to hear. So here's this leading-edge, delicious, tactile, physical, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching experience. It's just so delicious.
And it's so delicious to
hang on just a
yes,
second.
Okay, sorry.
And it's all right.
But it's not just the senses I like,
it's
it's the presence of the other. It's like not being alone, because being one is being alone. I mean,
hang in here.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
So here you are exposed to all of this
Yes.
and having an experience that makes you say, I'm not ready to croak. I want more of this physical experience. And the idea of leaving that and returning to something that you have fashioned as some sort of nebulous mist, sort of being part of the soup instead of out here with the specificness
Yes.
that is me. That's what's causing you to feel that discomfort. But consider this. This is the part of it that you have all forgotten. This is the part of it that we so want to reinsert into the dialogue so that you can return to your true knowing. As you reemerge into what is non-physical and become something like what we are trying to describe ourselves as Abraham as being, we want you to know that we are fully focused back out here on the leading edge with you. In other words, this is the leading edge. This is the leading edge. All that you know as source is focused here. So whether you're in this physical body focused here as source, or whether you are projecting from non-physical focused here as source, you feel no lack whatsoever. However, this is so good. Going back to the original things that you were asking about, from the source vantage point, from the truly in the vortex vantage point, we get to experience the deliciousness of a moment with the ant, of a moment with the eagle, of a moment with the human. In other words, the only difference between you as you in your experiential understanding or beingness as source as compared with the physical vantage point is that in physical you are more specifically focused as human, more specifically focused. Here you are in this room, while from your non-physical vantage point you have the ability to have greater awarenesses of more things simultaneously. But having said all of that, source is still dramatically focused in moments in time. That's why when you're having a moment of negative emotion, it always means source is focused right there with you on exactly the same thing you're focused on, but seeing it different. Seeing it different.
Yes.
And that, the very fact that you can ever feel negative emotion is your evidence that there is a part of you that is seeing it differently.
Yes, I know.
And once you get that, and then you strive to see it like source sees it, you can, in a very short time, long before you're ready to make your reemergence back into non-physical, you can walk this planet and feel as source feels, feeling the wholeness or the oneness of all of that. But you won't call it oneness when it's on a billion different topics. You don't call it oneness when you're having exposure to all of these different experiences.
Yes.
You follow?
It's nice because when I look at documentaries about all these beautiful places in the world, I wish I could be an eagle. I wish I could be all these beings and watch all of that. So I can't wait to
but wait.
But it's cool to be me also.
But wait, you don't have to croak in order to experience that.
Really? Okay.
That's what the holograms are that people are trying to define. That's what in every particle of the universe, it's a microcosm of the greater universe. In other words, you have the ability to find some excuse, just because you want to tune into who you are. And you'll have such a breadth of understanding that then you'll have a co-creative rendezvous with some aspect. Esther was sitting one day watching this little band of ants moving across the rocks in Texas. And in her alignment with who she is and her alignment with who we are, she had such a visceral experience of what that was like. She doesn't have to croak to do that. Everything that you desire is available to you here and now. Here and now. Because source has the vantage point and you have source.
Okay, I see. Yes.
You see. And so as you play with this, we're not ever going to say that you're going to feel an eagerness to reemerge into non-physical because this physical experience has the potential of being so delicious. But we will say instead that as you are here in this physical body, everything that you know or think of as non-physical or as source, you have access to here and now.
Okay.
And it may be that you'll have to croak in order to know that it is all one. And
Yes.
it may be that you'll have enough experiences before you do that you'll have the satisfaction long before you have that. So many people are tapping in to the true essence of who they are and allowing that fuller creativity to flow through them into these meaningful moments. And we just want to say that it is all about these meaningful moments, you see. This is the leading edge.